In today's video, we're going to talk about mental health. It's more of a laid-back video. I'm on my couch with a cup of coffee, so maybe you can grab one for yourself. And I will talk about mental health and entrepreneurship and what has been my story over the last few years with mental health. If you don't know me yet, I started my first online business back in 2016, selling online courses. And back then I was a student. I was not really fulfilled with what I was doing in life. I was just, in university. I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this thing because my parents want me to do, and because I didn't have any other ideas anyway. So what I did was start my business, and I started to make some money. And at first I thought money would make me happy, and it did to some extent. Because when you start to make some money, you start to get some freedom. It allows you to do anything that you want, and so you don't have to do the thing that you don't want, and so eventually you end up being more happy. But what really happened is that I was focused in the pursuit of making more money all the time. So I started to make 6-figure and stuff like that, but then I wanted more. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make $500,000, and then I wanted to make $1 million and stuff like that, but it was not really working for me, and I started to face some issues. Like, I would go out and party a lot, drink a lot of alcohol, and then I would not work for like 6 months at a time, and I would just like party like crazy. And at the time I was depressed, but I didn't know that it was some kind of depression. I had no idea, right? Because I was kind of drunk all the time. I was party a lot. Even the days when you don't go out, like the hangover and stuff like that, you're not clear in your mind, and so it's hard to really think straight, right? And so like 2 years ago, something like that, 2 years ago, it became really bad. Actually, it became really bad, and I started to have some suicidal thoughts, and some, like, I was really depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't have motivation. I didn't work. I just stay home, eat junk food, and sometimes drink alcohol and stuff like that. But I didn't want to go anywhere. I just watch movie, watch YouTube video, whatever. I was still making music, but I had no desire of doing anything in life. And so what happened is that I went to see a doctor because I was started to be worried, right? When you have those like dark thoughts and stuff like that. Even though like I was free, I was an entrepreneur, I was making money and stuff like that. Although like my income has declined because I was not able to work for a while back then, I was still in a good position, right? What was weird for me at the time is that I was in a place where most people want to be. I was living in Thailand, in a nice like condo, like some kind of 5-star accommodation with a nice gym, a nice swimming pool, the weather. I have a girlfriend. I was in a good physical health, like young in Thailand. It's the place where most people that I would meet were like, oh, you're so lucky to be in this situation. You can travel anytime, you can do whatever you want. But for me, like, I was super depressed. And that's something that we don't really talk about. The people that you see on social media posting about their crazy life in Dubai or whatever, they may be depressed, but you don't know because there's a filter. There's like Instagram, they just show you a story, but you don't know what they're feeling inside. And I know because I was one of them. I would show my lifestyle on social media for whatever reason, just to show to people that I made it, or so people would be like, oh, okay, he's successful, so maybe I buy his course or whatever. But sometimes, like, yeah, the point I'm trying to make is you don't know what's really happening. Those influencers that you follow, they might be super depressed, they might do drugs, they might do like anything to help them alleviate the depression or something like that, but don't take it for like fact, right? What you see on social media is fake. There's not a lot of people that open up about being depressed and stuff like that, but there are more than you think. And depression can come from a lot of things. I was reading a good book recently that's called Lost Connection by Johann Hari, and his theory is that people become depressed because they lose connection to certain things. It can be connection to your family, connection to the meaning of your work, connection to the future. There's a whole book written on it. You can look at it if you... I would recommend anybody to read this book. It's called Lost Connection by Johann Hari, and it's pretty good. And so to come back to my story, 2 years ago, I was really depressed. Went to see a psychiatrist, started a treatment with a vortioxetine. If you might wonder what treatment did I took, and it worked really great. I noticed like within a few days, I was back because my natural self is quite optimist. It's quite, I want to do stuff. I'm motivated all the time. I want to do stuff. I want to move. I want to learn new things. I want to do stuff like that. But when I was depressed, I had no interest in doing anything. Like I just wanted to stay home, eat pizza, and watch movie. That's pretty much it. Like, and I didn't want to work. I didn't want to launch any new business or whatever. When I started the treatment, it worked really well. That's the point where I started e-commerce as well, because I was like, okay, I'm going to start this new e-commerce business. And I stopped drinking alcohol, and I think that really helped, because alcohol and cannabis can have an impact on your mental health. Like that's significant, to be honest with you. So if you're struggling with mental health, this problem or whatever, my advice for you would be to get sober, because, and that's a good why, you know, because a lot of people who struggle with substance abuse might try to quit, but they don't have a good why. They would like, yeah, I can quit, but for what, you know? But if you know that it's fucking up your mental health, then it's a good why. And as a matter of fact, I've been like sober for almost 280 days now when I'm recording this video, because it's my why. I know that if I start to drink again and party and stuff like that, I will end up being depressed, and so I don't want that. So I'd rather not drink than drink and then become depressed again. So I took this treatment. It worked well. To be honest, it worked well. I was able to work again. But then after like 6 months or something, I was a bit down. I started to drink and party again. My drinking situation is a bit weird. Like I would drink and party quite a lot when I'm in those periods of time when I'm feeling a bit down. Maybe I'm trying to avoid the feeling of the depression or something like that. But yeah, it's quite common. Like work hard, play hard. You know, some people are in this situation have this problem as well. So yeah, I went again. You know, I fall again into drinking and partying, and obviously this prevented me from be fully myself, because when you party every other day, your brain doesn't have the time to recover and stuff like that. And what was really interesting with me is because I was making some decent income, I was free to do whatever I want. It's not like I have a full-time job. I was living in Thailand. I can just party every other day and I still be fine. I don't have a job. I don't have to go somewhere. I can just do anything. I still have money to live. And so it kind of triggered me to be back in the party lifestyle. And then 6 months went by and I was still depressed. So yeah, it's basically like on and off, stop drinking, party, and then it goes better. But every time I start again, it comes back. So I think the alcohol is a big thing for me. It might be different for you if you're depressed, but look at the things that trigger you, right? Another thing that has impact on my mood is stress. So I recently moved to the UK to start a new project, investing in companies here in the UK. And to do this project, I have to do a lot of meetings, I have to do a lot of emails and phone calls, and that tends to stress me a lot. And I'm tracking my mood day after day, so I have like a log where I record like my mood and stuff like that, mood score. And when I look like the days where I'm most stressed, if I have like a few days with a lot of meetings and stressful stuff, my mood tends to be significantly lower. I will have increased cravings, food cravings, or before it would have been like alcohol cravings, and also I would feel like more depressed. So the stress, depress, it's basically, I feel like when there's too much stress for a long period of time, you end up being depressed. I feel like that can trigger something. Because if my understanding is correct from what is happening in the brain chemical, when your brain is stressed, it impairs your chemical balance in the brain, or it creates growth in certain part of your brain that are more alert to something like danger and stuff like that, and it might reduce the dopamine that you're getting and less pleasure and more painful stuff. And so it kind of changes your brain over time if the stress is happening for a long enough period of time. So if you have a lot of stress in your life, it can be financial stress, it can be marital problem, it can be something with your family problem, it can be something with your work, a problem that keeps repeating over and over again, it can turn into depression. So you want to make sure that you treat those problems at the root cause, and you don't wait too long before it turns into a full-blown like major depressive disorder like I had, because it will, you don't want that, right? I mean, a lot of people die from it by suicide and stuff like that. For me, like right now I'm better. I started a new treatment like not long ago, and it's doing pretty okay, I would say. And so I'm able to work again, and that's the main thing, right? Yeah. So that's kind of my journey with the mental disorder. Like, the thing is, I thought it was a depression, but then I went to see another psychiatrist not so long ago, and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, not otherwise specified, because I tend to have mood swings, which is like ups and downs and ups and downs. So bipolar disorder, not otherwise specified, is like a softer form of bipolar disorder. It's not like full manic blown episode. It's more like intense mood swing, where one day I would feel really low, the other day I would feel really happy and excited. But it's not like I would never feel like super crazy, like thinking I can fly or thinking I'm going to change the world, something like that. But I would have like those phases where I'm depressed, and then those phases where I'm excited, and those phases where I'm depressed, and those phases where I'm excited. The problem being is, when I'm depressed, I cannot really work because I'm not in the right mood, and it's not like I can force myself, right? Maybe if you've never had depression or anything like that, you might not understand what I'm talking about, but I have willpower as a person. Like when I first started my business, I was making one video on YouTube every single day. So I do have willpower. I'm not like weak-minded or anything like that. But when you're depressed, you cannot do anything. Like it's impossible. It's like there's a big cloud above your mind, and you cannot think straight. You have no willpower. The only thing that you want is just survive that day. You just want it to be over and to be like the next day, basically. That's the only thing that you can do. You cannot like force yourself to kick you. Yeah. So I've been diagnosed with bipolar. I don't see it as a big deal, but it makes a lot of sense for me, being ups and downs. But again, it's not like, type 1 or type 2. It's like, you could say type 3, it's like a milder form of bipolar disorder, which is like mood swings that are intense. And the problem is, like, I would work on the day that I'm happy, but then when I'm depressed, I cannot work. So my work is kind of on and off, and that prevents me from having more consistency. And consistency is really important in business. So you need to organize your life around your mood and be like, okay, I'm going to do most of my work when I'm happy. For example, today I'm feeling good. I'm making a few YouTube videos, and I'm going to save them for maybe if there's a day when I feel low, that I can just release one of those videos that I've made previously. So you need to arrange your life around. Anyway, that's pretty much my story about mental health and entrepreneurship. The main thing that you need to realize is that a lot of people have mental health disorder, depression, bipolar, whatever, PTSD, but nobody's talking about it. So I just want to raise awareness. I want to talk more about it, because if you're feeling that, it's okay. Like, you're not alone, right? A lot of other people are facing it. Maybe the people that you admire, maybe they are facing the same problem as you, and it's okay too, right? Just, there is help. If you are facing some problem right now, I would advise you to see a doctor, a psychiatrist, because they're there to help you, and they've been to medical school for 10 years, so they know exactly what is the best thing for you to do. And for me, like I told you, when I was really low, I was feeling suicidal, I went to see a psychiatrist. They gave me a treatment, and that worked really great. The medicine today have been improved over the last decades. They're not so addictive anymore. They don't have a lot of side effects. So there's a lot of upside in seeking like help. Also, I consulted with a therapist, and that can really help as well. So if you are feeling down right now, if you have bad thoughts and stuff like that, please go see a doctor. That's the best thing you can do, because that's, seeking help with a professional is the best way to solve that problem. So that's it for this video. Nothing else to do. If you are an entrepreneur, I have a free course for you if you want to learn more about online business and stuff like that. I will leave the link in the description. And in this course I teach you how to start your online business if that's something that interests you. So I hope this video was helpful. I try to be honest and transparent with you guys, share my story, and so that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.